The security officer's mandibles clicked in what Melissa had learned to recognize as confusion. The Vexthari guard tilted his chitinous head, compound eyes scanning the fresh scratches covering her forearms and the torn sleeve of her uniform. "Explain the injuries, human Melissa," the guard stated, his translator rendering the words with mechanical precision. Before Melissa could respond, a cacophony of chirps, growls, and excited barks erupted from behind her. 3 juvenile aliens, no taller than her waist, burst through the doorway of the xenobiology nursery, their various appendages waving frantically. "We were playing," squeaked the smallest one, a Kilari cub covered in iridescent fur. "Just playing," echoed a young Krathian, his scales still soft and pale with youth. The third, a Theron kit with oversized ears, added solemnly, "The human is not damaged. We checked." The security officer's antennae stiffened. His clawed hand moved toward his comm device, no doubt ready to report a xenobiological incident. Across the Galactic Coalition station, such reports were treated with utmost seriousness. Humans were rare in this sector, their presence on the station still considered experimental by most species. Melissa sighed and crouched down, gathering the 3 younglings close despite their squirming. "It's fine, Officer Crixton. Really, we were just playing." "Playing," the Vexthari repeated, as if the word itself were a foreign contaminant. "The juveniles have caused you physical harm. Their guardians must be notified. Sanctions must be—" "Sanctions?" Melissa stood abruptly, and the officer took an involuntary step backward. She'd noticed that reaction before. Something about human body language triggered primal responses in most species. "These babies didn't hurt me. Look at them." The Quillari cub's luminous eyes had begun to water, her fur dimming to a distressed gray. The Krathian's tail drooped, scraping the floor. Even the usually stoic Theron Kit's ears had flattened against his skull. "But the evidence," Officer Crixton gestured at her arms, "is from playing." Burak's voice cut through the tension as he emerged from the nursery's medical station, a dermal regenerator in hand. The young human biologist's dark eyes assessed the situation instantly. "Officer, perhaps you're unfamiliar with human recreational bonding practices." The Vexthari's mandibles clicked rapidly, definite confusion now. "Bonding? Through injury?" Burak moved to Melissa's side, holding up the regenerator. "We don't need this, by the way. They're superficial scratches." "You call these superficial?" The officer's translator almost seemed to convey disbelief. "By human standards? Absolutely." Melissa knelt again, letting the cubs cluster around her. The Quillari immediately began grooming her arm with her small paws, trying to clean the scratches. "You see, officer, human skin is tough, but it marks easily. These scratches look worse than they are." The juveniles possess claws, fangs, defensive spines. Crixton counted off on his clawed digits. "Any of which could inflict serious harm." "To most species, yes," Burak interjected. He pulled up his own sleeve, revealing faded scars. "I grew up with a Terran domesticated predator. We call them cats. Trust me, I've had worse from a creature we keep in our homes for companionship." The security officer's entire posture shifted into what his species displayed as profound bewilderment. "You cohabitate with predators? For enjoyment?" "Don't get him started," Melissa warned with a smile. "Humans also keep pack hunters called dogs, and we have young children who are somehow more destructive than both." "It's true," the Krathian cub announced proudly. "Miss Melissa said human hatchlings are the most dangerous creatures on Earth because they have no fear and touch everything." "And human parents survive this?" Crixton's mandibles had stopped clicking entirely. "Evolution, officer." Burak activated his data pad, projecting a holographic image of Earth's biosphere data. "Humans evolved on a death world. Class 12 hazard rating. Our children roughhouse with each other from an early age. Our skin heals quickly. Our pain tolerance is—" He paused, searching for words. "Apparently unusual." Melissa stood, lifting the Quillari cub into her arms, despite the creature's sharp little claws pressing into her shoulder. "These little ones were worried they'd hurt me during our game of chase and pounce. They're babies, officer. They're learning to socialize, to control their strength, to play. How can I teach them it's safe to interact with other species if we treat every scratch like a diplomatic incident?" The Theron Kit tugged on the officer's uniform sleeve with surprising boldness. "The human lets us practice our hunting skills. She runs very fast for a human and makes excellent prey sounds. And when we catch her, she laughs instead of screaming." "It's very good practice." Officer Crixton looked from the cubs to the two humans and back again. His translator was silent for a long moment as he processed. Finally, his mandibles spread, and what Melissa had learned was the Vexthari equivalent of a bewildered smile. "I will note in my report that the injuries were sustained during approved recreational activities." He tapped his comm device, then fixed both humans with what might have been respect. "You know, when the Council approved the Human Integration Program, many of us thought your species too fragile for station life. We were told you came from a dangerous world, but we assumed you'd be—" He searched for the word. "Delicate," Burak laughed. "Delicate, officer. Humans literally used to hunt our prey by chasing it until it collapsed from exhaustion. We're persistent. We heal fast, and we bond through play that would hospitalize most species." The Creathian cub chirped excitedly. "Can we play again tomorrow, Miss Melissa?" She ruffled his soft scales, ignoring the slight sting from the fresh scratches. "Absolutely. But tomorrow we're teaching you the human game called tag. Fair warning, no claws allowed." As Officer Crixton departed, shaking his head in what seemed like amused resignation, the three cubs immediately began planning their next play session with the humans. Melissa caught Burak's eye and grinned. "You know what's funny? They think we're the weird ones." "We are the weird ones," he replied, watching the younglings demonstrate their pouncing techniques. "We're just also apparently the fun ones." The Quillari cub's fur had returned to its normal rainbow shimmer, all distress forgotten. She climbed onto Melissa's shoulders, tiny claws pricking through the fabric, and announced to anyone listening, "Humans are the best. They're squishy, but they don't break." It wasn't the most diplomatic description of her species, Melissa thought, but in the context of the Galactic Coalition, it might just be humanity's greatest strength.